RauschGames!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bell Center in Montreal, Canada. We were here for NXT a little bit earlier last month. We're back again. We're opening up a huge show in front of 11,500 plus screaming NXT fans with a one-on-one match between the one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, Tensai, and Axel, making his NXT debut in this WWE 2K14 Universe mode. There's a big monkey flip from Tensai out of the corner to Axel, and we reset in the center of the ring. Tensai and his partner, Brodus Clay, and the Tons of Funk team have just been dominant down here in NXT. They rarely lose, they rarely look bad. They are the tag team champions, and Clay is also the NXT Internet Champion that stands to possibly break the team up later on down the road, but for right now, they are on top of the world with their dominance. And there's a huge series of punches from Tensai to Axel, but now Axel's back up, and they go back to it. We've got 5 one-on-one matches coming your way tonight. We've got Axel versus Tensai here, one-on-one. We have the Ravishing Rick Rude making his NXT debut. He'll be taking on Rowan of the Wyatt family in a one-on-one match after this. Our third match of the evening, after last week's loss to Heath Slater, the Rausch expressing discontent, and also requesting a rematch in a match that more favorably suits him. They'll be taking each other on submission. Huge drop kick from Axel there. And now he goes up top, and he completely misses a flying body splash to the outside. Tensai back in the ring. Good timing there. Our fourth match tonight is going to be another rematch from last week after they broke the ring and Mark Henry was declared the loser via knockout to former NXT champion Big John Studd in their little feud, their blood rivalry, if you'll have it. Henry has requested a rematch, and it has been granted. It'll be Mark Henry versus Big John Studd, one-on-one. Hopefully the ring maintains its integrity tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And then in our main event, you heard it after NXT last week, and we're going to see it for the first time. General Manager Stephanie McMahon has declared that our NXT title will be defended at the Over the Limit pay-per-view in 3 weeks between The Miz and recent former Internet champion Zack Ryder. Both men have experience on the big brand. They both want to get back up there, and they both want that NXT championship to help them get there at next year's WrestleMania weekend. So that'll be a one-on-one non-title match tonight between those two, squaring off for the first time in our WWE 2K14 Universe mode. We do have our 4 new NXT roster members: Kofi Kingston, Ric Flair, former World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio, and Antonio Cesaro. They are all here, ladies and gentlemen. They are in the arena tonight. They are not scheduled for matches, though. They are still working over on their physicals to make sure that they are okay on the big NXT brand here, wrestling in the yellow ropes. And it looked like we were going to see the perfect plex there from Axel, but Tensai with a smart reversal. And wait a second, Axel is taking the top of the announcer's table off, making it a bit of a safer impact zone. He's working from behind. Oh, but Tensai with the snapmare. And Axel rakes Tensai to the eyes. And he's got him in a suplex clutch. And he suplexes him onto the steel chair that surprisingly maintains its structure right next to the announcer's table there. And they're still fighting on the outside. Here's Axel, big time twisting back suplex, dumping Tensai down to the mat. The floor of the arena, I should say. Again, we've got just about 11,500 NXT fans here in the Bell Center, Montreal, Canada. They like us up here, so we came back, ladies and gentlemen. Axel, in his debut, is bringing it to Tensai here. Tensai has not had this much of a challenge yet, but there's a big back elbow from the big man. And now Tensai spitting the green mist onto his hand. We know what this means. He's got a chop to the throat, and we've got more green mist, ladies and gentlemen. Axel's going to have to close his eyes. There it is, hand to the face, rub it in, get it in all the pores. And there's that modified STO from the big man. Into a pin, 1, 2, oh, 2 count, and Axel does indeed kick out. And Axel now up. big time bridging back suplex there to Lord Tensai. But now Tensai on his feet. Axel blocks a punch. Tensai blocks a return. And a huge throw off from Curtis Axel there. And he just won't stop hamming it up for this Montreal crowd. And Tensai capitalizes with a huge runaround German suplex. But once again, Axel out of the ring. Side headlock into a snapmare. Followed up with an elbow to the back of the head from Curtis Axel to Tensai. And there's a huge elbow drop into the chest of the huge Lord Tensai. And now Axel off the apron. Double axe handle misses. But he gets a huge arm drag on Tensai. And now Axel's going to go back in the ring. And once again, ham it up for the crowd. Tensai probably... Nope, Tensai's not going to take advantage of that one. He's on the outside letting the ref count. Thought he was going to once again take advantage of the showboating from Curtis Axel. But he doesn't have to with a big back suplex there. Nice reversal from Tensai. And he's going to drag Axel to the center of the ring. We've got another pin. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Tensai with the big win over Curtis Axel there. The announcer had a hard time trying to kick out and announcing the pinfall at the same time. Curtis Axel loses his debut match, and Tensai and Tons of Funk remain on the roll that they have been on to open up this season in NXT. They are the tag team champions, and up until very recently, their biggest competition was the three-man band, but they seem to be in disarray as of late, so we don't know if we're ever going to see these belts defended down here. But either way, we're coming back for our second match. Ravishing Rick Rude making his debut in NXT, just signed last week, along with 4 other legends who immediately found their way up to the main rosters. He will be taking on Erick Rowan of the Wyatt family, and that's coming up next. And we are back here from the Bell Center in Montreal, Canada. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is our second match of the evening, and the man in the pink tights with the Ultimate Warrior on his ass and the belt on his crotch, that is Ravishing Rick Rude, having been freshly re-signed to a WWE contract last week, placed down here on the NXT roster. He's taking on Erick Rowan, 1/3 of the Wyatt family. This is a one-fall match. All falls in the ring, no weapons allowed. We know the vanilla rules here for our Tuesday night NXT here in the WWE Universe. And right off the bat, Rowan, big time belly-to-belly suplex, just throwing Rude over him like he's nothing. And a huge back super kick there. But now Rude from behind. Rowan twists out into another belly-to-belly side slam this time. Just bringing it to the WWE legend Rick Rude. Rude sidesteps the kick and counters with his own side headlock there. And Rude, big time body slam to Erick Rowan. The crowd here in NXT is very happy to have Rick Rude on board. Kind of indifferent about Erick Rowan. So far, what we've seen of the Wyatt family, we saw Bray taking on David Otunga at our Extreme Rules pay-per-view for NXT 2 weeks ago. Nice big victory for him in his debut. And we've seen Luke Harper and Erick Rowan defeating El Guapo Diablo in what was technically a triple threat match that was honestly just a simultaneous handicap match for whatever reason from Stephanie McMahon. Rude with a big-time back elbow to Erick Rowan there. But the Wyatts have not made their presence known here in NXT too much so far. They're known for kind of waiting in the shadows for an opportunity. It appears that that is what they are doing now. Rude, either way, just wants to make sure that right off of his debut, he's doing everything he can to earn a full-on WWE contract. You have to think that he's a little bummed that when 5 men get signed and 4 of them go to the main WWE roster, he's the one that gets left behind in NXT. But now he's got to deal with the 4 that were sent down from Raw and SmackDown. Cesaro, Flair, Kingston, Del Rio. He's got to leapfrog them as they're all going to be looking for their way back up to the big show as well. Huge back body drop from Erick Rowan to Rick Rude, and now just stepping on the chest. That weight advantage, a huge thing for Erick Rowan here. Rude's not exactly a small man by any stretch of the imagination, but Rowan, big boot to the chest there. And Rude just has to get out of the ring. Take a little time to recollect here, but Rowan is hot on his tail, and they're going to meet outside. And now Rude working from behind, but Rowan twists the arm into another big-time belly-to-belly side slam on the floor of the arena. 11,500 people heard the sound of Rick Rude's back hit the floor there. But now Rude, suplex clutch, big snap suplex to Erick Rowan, still on the outside. And he's just going to stomp on his body while he's down and then take the arm, slamming it down to the floor. And now Rude going to work his way back up into the ring as Rowan shakes out the arm there. And Rude with his signature gyrations. And now Rude with Rowan up on his shoulder. Dumps him down with an inverted backbreaker there. And now Rude flexing for the crowd. We haven't seen this in years. He spins Rowan around. But Rowan with a forearm to the lower back and a big running clothesline, sending Rude down. The reversals of finishers are crazy today, guys. There's a 2 count, and Rick Rude does kick out of Erick Rowan's attack there. And a big jumping shoulder breaker from Rick Rude to Erick Rowan. He has been working on the arms of Rowan. There's a big arm drag, speaking of. And once again, slamming the arm down to the mat there. And now Rude heading down for the legs, has them both up. Huge stomp to the crotch, the man parts of Erick Rowan. And a big drop toe hold from Rude now, despite having his finisher apparently stolen at the point of execution. Rude is back in this match, but there's a snapmare from Rowan and a stomp. And now Rowan, both arms in the air, making sure Rick Rude staggers up. And he's got him by the throat. And that's a huge choke slam from Erick Rowan to Rick Rude. But Rude is immediately up, and he runs at him. Complete no-sell into a running neck breaker. And now Rude dropping for the pin. 1, 2. Oh, 2 count. Rude almost stole the victory after Erick Rowan's choke slam there. And Rude just almost energized by that maneuver. Rude now has Rowan down on the mat again. And once again, he's going to have him up, and he's got him on his shoulders. And another backbreaker, dropping him down to the mat. Rude is taking control here despite the choke slam from Erick Rowan. And once again, he's down on his knees, flexing, Kaepernicking if you're an NFL fan. And this time he's got Rowan around. He's gyrating. And the neck breaker from Rick Rude. The finishing maneuver from the WWE legend. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Rick Rude gets a victory over Erick Rowan in his debut match here in NXT from Montreal, the Bell Center, the home of those Canadiens. We just saw a legend come back and run roughshod all over a relative newbie here in the WWE Universe. It looked like Rowan actually had the match after he hit his choke slam out of nowhere, but Rude just seemed to be electrified by the impact and was immediately up into a running neck breaker over Erick Rowan. Just went on from there, hit another backbreaker, and finished it off with his signature neck breaker. There he is. There's that moment of impact. That's the move that won the match for him. Rude gets a win in his first match in NXT, and he is officially on the road to a big boy WWE contract. We'll see how he goes with that as this month progresses, but we'll be right back, guys. We have the Rausch and Heath Slater continuing what appears to be a budding rivalry in a submission match. Get ready to see some sub-pro, baby. See you soon. And we're back in the Bell Center from Montreal, Canada. Match number 3 tonight. We've got the Rausch taking on Heath Slater in a submission match. Huge Cobra clutch toss from the Rausch to open everything here. The Rausch, new to WWE this year. Big time super kick from the Rausch right off the bat. He's new this year in this WWE 2K14 universe. He is a rookie here in NXT. He and El Guapo Diablo and A Deceive kind of came into the fold around the same time. And he began his tenure here in NXT with a little rivalry with El Guapo Diablo, looking pretty good against the high-flying luchador. Then after the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, he was scheduled for a match against Heath Slater last week on NXT that Slater won, much to the chagrin of the Rausch. He put his heart into that match, couldn't get a win over a former WWE star, and decided that he really wanted another chance at it. Huge, flying, very European uppercut there. The Rausch is all over this match, so he decided to ask for a rematch in a submission match, which is his strong suit. He is a submissionist. Before being signed to his WWE contract, the Rausch was spending the better part of a year in the Swiss Alps. Wow. Heath Slater keeps on running at the Rausch, and the Rausch keeps on reversing those running grapples. Let's learn from that, computer. There's the Rausch sending Slater into the turnbuckle. Rausch was actually learning the finer points of the human body's varying pressure points through a submission master who prefers to remain unidentified. He lives in a hut in the Swiss Alps, and the Rausch stayed in the cold weather climate for almost a full year, learning the fine art of making the human body reach its breaking point. And now the Rausch has Heath Slater up on the top rope. Both of them are up on top. Big superplex from the Rausch to Heath Slater. So the Rausch has a submissionist's arsenal, that's for sure. And Heath Slater, not exactly known for it. It's believed that Heath won his match against the Rausch last week, mainly because of his annoyance at the fact that he is no longer considered the leader of the three-man band. Events last month in April led to the WWE Universe kind of discovering that Drew McIntyre had seized control of the trio, and that was through various matches against Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal throughout the month. Nice step-up enziguri from Heath Slater there, and he's kind of coming back into this match. Punches to the side of the head of the Rausch while he's down on the mat now. And now he lifts the Rausch up, but Rausch is in with a kick to the gut, and another one, and now Rausch is off the ropes, and a drop kick to the side of the head of Heath Slater, and now Rausch from behind, camel clutch locked in, Slater crawling for the ropes. The match has to end by submission, and it has to end in the ring, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only way this is going to end, and the Rausch has a clear-cut advantage here, but he does lose his grip over Slater there, and now Rausch from behind spins Slater around, has both of his arms locked. We know this, it's the V2, his inverted vertebreaker, right on the back of the head of Heath Slater. And now the Rausch working around to his legs, and he's got Slater back, and he's going to lock in the Gravity's Rainbow now. That's his patented submission hold. But he loses his grip on it, not working on the legs enough here. And now there's a back fist, and another back fist. And the Rausch has Slater up on his shoulders, dropping him down. Brockengespenst. Unbelievable. Now the Rausch going to work on the body again. He's got that camel clutch locked in, and Heath Slater is just in no man's land as he tries to crawl across the ring, carrying his and the Rausch's body weight. The ref is in his face trying to see if he gives up. Heath just wants the rope, and he does get to it, but he has got to be in some serious pain now, ladies and gentlemen. But he catches the foot of the Rausch into a dragon screw, and now Slater's up and Rausch is down, but Rausch with a punch to the gut, runs at Slater, spins around, German suplex, dropping him on the back of his head. And now he's got Slater up standing, front headlock there, and Slater reversing into a Russian leg sweep. The Rausch looks like a different man this week. Slater also looking very different. Rausch blocks a chop, kick to the gut. And now he has Slater up on his shoulders, spins him around. Nice drop there. And the Rausch backs off. And a jumping knee to the face of Heath Slater. And now Rausch rolls him over, but Slater pushes off. And the Rausch from behind, huge German suplex. One, he's got a second. He's going to go for a third. 3 German suplexes to Heath Slater, and the Rausch is not playing around in this match. He's going to cause some pain here. Back fists again. We've got another Brockengespenst, and he drops him on the top of his head. And now the Rausch picking Slater up. Slater is dead here, and there's Rausch suplex clutch, but Slater into a neck breaker. Rausch should have locked in a submission there, and Slater stepping on the face, washing it with the bottom of his boot. And now the Rausch is up and groggy, but he blocks another chop from Heath Slater. And now Rausch has the arm locked, and he's got the crossface. Rausch has a crossface locked in, and Slater can't get to the ropes, and Slater has to tap out. The Rausch wins against Heath Slater in their rematch in a submission. The Rausch was on fire in this match. This is the most aggressive we have seen him here in this 2K14 Universe mode so far. He was a man on a mission. He got his request for a submission match. He knew that it favored his style, and he won by crossface. And not after hitting 2 Brockengespenst, a V2 hitting his triple German suplex. He was dominant in this match, trying to adopt the old Iron Sheik camel clutch too. We might have a stable forming with men in this federation that tend to use the camel clutch as opposed to a more inventive submission hold. But after the match now, show of respect from the Rausch, and Heath Slater slaps his hand away. Heath is not happy. Defeated within his own team, defeated in singles competition. What's he gonna do? I don't know, but we're coming right back, guys. And A Deceive is coming down to the ring. We know that she and Big John Studd started dating last week. What's this mean? We're here. This is our 4th match of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Rematch of last week, Mark Henry versus Big John Studd. Henry not happy that he lost by DQ. And Henry immediately with a gorilla press of Big John Studd, slamming him into a power slam. And Henry is beating his chest right off the bat. Studd is groggy here. and Henry spins him around, and he's got him up. No way, right off the bat, world's strongest slam. Stud is down. A Deceive came out, presumably in Big John Stud's corner. They became an item last week. And now Henry going for the pin here. 1, 2, oh, 2 count already, but John Stud does kick out. Henry is not happy about the loss last week, and it appears as though A Deceive actually went to Mark Henry's corner, despite she and Big John Stud delving into a relationship last week after NXT went off the air. It was nothing on camera, but Big John Stud, we know him as the former NXT champion, having lost to The Miz at the NXT Extreme Rules pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago. Ever since that belt changed hands, all hell is broken loose, and Stud trying to go over to his girlfriend who's up on the apron. He's trying to get her off the apron, and she's distracting him. Henry works around from behind, and a big forearm to the back while Big John Stud isn't looking. And now Henry just face-washing him with his fist there on the mat. What is A Deceive doing to her boyfriend here? Oh, but Big John Stud recovers and throws Henry off. So all hell broke loose after Big John Stud lost the belt to The Miz. Sin Cara thought that he should have been in the match, and he and The Miz fought each other last week in the main event. And again, A Deceive is distracting Big John Stud. And now Stud off the ropes. No, he catches himself there. But Henry now from behind. And a big back suplex to Big John Stud. Henry also thought he should have been in that title match, and he went right after Big John Stud on NXT last week. But Stud won the match after a superplex broke the mat from its moorings and collapsed everything, knocking both our referee and Mark Henry unconscious. It was insane, but Big John Stud was the man that emerged from the wreckage with a victory by default because of the knockout to Mark Henry. Henry not happy, gets his rematch here tonight, another one fall, and now he apparently has Big John Stud's girlfriend, A Deceive, on his side against Mark Henry here. We don't know what's going on. They just kind of began dating last week. We're frankly not even sure if they are actually dating or if it was strictly a manager-client relationship, as A Deceive herself has been unsuccessful in pursuit of the NXT Women's Championship held by Oksana. She may be looking onto greener pastures and trying to make a little money managing a superstar here or there. But either way, it appears as though she has turned on her client and or boyfriend, Big John Stud, in favor of Mark Henry. But it also appears as though she has left the ringside area after providing her distraction. And Henry chugging across, luring Big John Stud across the floor of the arena here. And there's a big body slam from Henry. And he's going to slide back up in the ring now with Stud outside. And Henry is fired up. The crowd here in Montreal wouldn't normally cheer for him, but against Big John Stud, anybody's going to get a pop. Nobody in NXT likes Big John Stud or what he brings to the table. Stud with a reversal there. So yes, A Deceive has left the ring area, but she posed enough distraction to allow Mark Henry an early advantage. There's a big belly-to-belly side slam from Stud. Stud is indeed recovered from those early distractions, though. It appears to be back on his feet. Huge STO from Big John Stud. Let's not forget him in all of this. He is beyond angry that he no longer has the NXT Championship, and you know that everything he's doing in the ring right now has to be leading to him once again getting a chance at it. He wants The Miz. He wants a rematch. Stephanie McMahon has already announced that she would not allow Stud to go for a rematch clause against The Miz. Oh, and Henry. I like that animation. I've never seen that before. The Miz and Zack Ryder have already been signed to a title match. Huge throw from Mark Henry to Big John Stud there. And now Henry's going to lift him up. And he's got him by the throat. And again, a big gorilla press. Drops into his shoulder. Power slam from Mark Henry. And one more time, Henry is beating his chest like the giant gorilla that he is, the world's strongest man. And he's got him up on his chest. Big time world's strongest slam, the second one of the match. Henry's got to go for the pin here. This should be your match, ladies and gentlemen. World's strongest slam there. Henry going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry gets his revenge over Big John Stud. That's our second rematch and our second revenge successful, if that makes any sense, as the Rausch and Mark Henry both get wins over the people that beat them last week. Big John Stud going to have some questions backstage i.e., what was A Deceive doing out here in Mark Henry's corner, distracting him during the match? Why did A Deceive help contribute to his loss to Mark Henry? Why did A Deceive help get him off the road to becoming NXT champion again after last week taking an interest in him and either becoming his girlfriend or his manager? Details of which we are uncertain. Either way, Mark Henry ends up with a victory here by pinfall after a second World's Strongest Slam. And after the match, there is Henry, all kinds of fired up. He got his payback. He's the one standing this week, and thank the Lord, the ring is in one piece. We don't have to take a 20-minute commercial break to put it back together. From the Bell Center, we've got our main event coming up, guys. We will see you for that. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the main event from the Bell Center. 11,500 plus screaming NXT fans in Montreal, Canada. We've got Zack Ryder taking on your NXT champion, The Miz. This is a one-fall, non-title match to send us home tonight, but it is a preview of our NXT Over the Limit pay-per-view because as of last week's show, Stephanie McMahon, the general manager of NXT, has indeed confirmed that The Miz and Zack Ryder will fight for The Miz's NXT Championship at that Over the Limit pay-per-view. The title will be on the line. We have no word on stipulation at this point. We can presume it might be something along the lines of, I don't know, possibly an Iron Man match. We'll see. We'll see how dedicated we are to this NXT brand, or if we just do a bunch of one-falls. But either way, this is going to be a preview of that match here tonight. Big enziguri from Zack Ryder reverses the reversal of The Miz. And Ryder, just 2 weeks removed from being the NXT Internet Champion, desperately wants gold around his waist one more time. Some shoulder tackles from Miz in the corner, and a stomp, and then another. There it is. Ryder had been the Internet Champion seemingly forever because, well, it was his own belt that he bought and used in his own promos that the WWE corporate entities then bought for, that didn't buy, they forced him to let them use it, essentially, because they said that it was part of their property, because it was part of his character, which is part of the WWE property, blah, blah, blah. So that became the minor title for NXT in this 2K14 universe mode because the powers that be decided it so. And not even a full month into being the official NXT Internet Champion, Zack Ryder loses it at our Extreme Rules pay-per-view in a match against Brodus Clay that was put together halfway through the show by Stephanie McMahon, replacing another tag team match that was already scheduled and prepared for. Ryder does not feel good about any of this. He feels as though he lost a part of himself when he had that belt stripped from him by Brodus Clay at Extreme Rules. But instead of going back for that belt, he now wants to go for the big gold. He wants to go for the NXT Championship because he knows that he's valuable enough to do so. He knows he is a good enough competitor that he can handle that. And now Miz sending Ryder off the ropes. And he ducks under and now runs at him. Oh, but Ryder with a flapjack into the ropes. Throat first goes the Miz. And now Ryder lifts him up by the head. And he's got a punch into a side headlock. But Miz out, wrenching the arm down. Nice match so far between these two. Miz has Ryder's arms locked back, sitting on him. All kinds of pressure on the lower back there. And then stomps him back down. And the Miz has had an interesting road to things too. He won our first ever main event on NXT in this 2K14 universe mode, beating Big John Studd in a non-title match. That's the infamous "I'm gonna go home now" match, where Big John Studd tried to leave, walked up the ramp looking for his car keys, couldn't find them, and decided to come back and finish the match. But apparently the walk up and down the entrance ramp tired him enough to let The Miz get a win in a non-title match. That set the stage for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, as The Miz, Sin Cara, and Mark Henry all made cases over the month of April that they should be in the main event at Extreme Rules. But because of that first win on the first NXT of the year, The Miz was granted the title shot, and he did not waste any second of it, taking home the gold by beating Big John Studd via pinfall after a skull-crushing finale. There's a Russian leg sweep from The Miz to Zack Ryder on the outside of the ring here, and now he's got him down, punches to the side of the head. And The Miz has been champion since Extreme Rules, 2 weeks now. Last week, he beat Sin Cara. Well, he met Sin Cara in the main event, and that's when Zack Ryder came out on the stage and announced his intentions to leave Over the Limit as the champion. And after the match went off the air backstage, Stephanie McMahon did indeed agree to that, stating that John Studd would not have a rematch clause as worked into his contract or worked into the fact that he was the NXT champion. And now Miz from behind. There's that skull-crushing finale on Zack Ryder. Sweeping the leg out. Huge impact on the face. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. The Miz with a big, easy win over Zack Ryder. That's going to send us home from the Bell Center here. The Miz demonstrating why he is the NXT champion. Ryder had a few good moments. That flapjack was a really nice one off the ropes. But the Miz was all over that match from the get-go. Didn't really have a chance to lose here to Zack Ryder. And now Ryder's got 3 weeks. He's got 2 more episodes of NXT before that pay-per-view to work out how he's going to put the Miz down and how he's going to win that gold. They both want it. They both want to go to the WWE rosters after next year's WrestleMania. And there is Miz, happy with the victory, rolling over into the corner. And that's your NXT champion, ladies and gentlemen. That's the man who Zack Ryder's got to beat at Over the Limit. That's the man who, if he holds the belt next year, he goes to WWE. We will see you next time, guys. And as always, if you like this video, hit that like button nice and hard so I can feel that you like it. And if you're new here, subscribe. Hit the big red button there. Plenty of videos like this. Our universe mode is very, very far from over. But until next time, guys, this is Rausch. I'm signing off. I will see you later. Bye-bye.